Hey guys, MrPokke here, and today I'll be going through with you guys my first impressions with the upcoming brand new turn-based gacha game, Etheria Restart. So a huge shout out to the devs for actually providing me this test beta account for me to just mess around with it and just take a look at what this game has to offer with regards to everything, with regards to the units, the endgame content, how do you gear, the pet system, the gacha system, etc, etc. So I'll just be bringing you guys to you what you guys can expect going into this game, right? Do know that this is going to be the test server. I'm not going to be sure that every single thing that you guys see here is going to be reflective of the actual live content for the game. So just a little bit of a heads up, the game itself, the closed beta, right, the closed beta test, it will start on the 8th of May, 6 p.m. Singapore time, and the official open beta, or I guess the launch of the game, is going to be starting on the 5th of June at 6 p.m. Singapore time, which is basically GMT plus 8. So to really break down what this game has to offer, it really is like the combination of Epic 7 as well as to a certain extent Honkai Star Rail, where it's a turn-based strategy combat team building where you will basically build up your units. You can see these are every single of the units are going to be unlocked over here. You have the standard elemental system that you guys probably would be aware if you guys play Epic 7. You have three main elements, right? The red, green, as well as the blue, as well as the light and dark elemental units, right? So every single unit here, from like your 3-star or the lowest ranked rarity to SR to SSR, all of them can be transcended into 6 stars, like we have seen from the dev live stream over here, right? So I'm just be bringing down to you guys step by step on what to offer. So what exactly is Etheria Restart, right? Etheria Restart is going to be a turn-based PvP and PvE hero character and pet system on both iOS, Android, as well as the PC client. So you can see from the gameplay I'll be playing in the background, they have a lot of different endgame content. They have a lot of different ways you can build your team building. You have your supports, your sustains, your DPS, action very advanced, debuffs, increase your buffs, your damage, increase crit damage buff, as well as to utilize this in genuinely a lot of different content that can make use of this unit. And keep in mind that this is the very fresh launch of the game, where there's around 50 plus units that can play right now. Going forward with time, I expect that this depth and complexity of this turn-based game is going to be a lot more as time progresses going forward in the future, right? So that is pretty much what Etheria Restart is all about. The UI for this game, like the home screen, is going to be quite unique to the sense where you are like this. This is your main character. You actually have a couple of outfits that you can change for a main character over here, which you can affect the way that you look in this current home screen. So you can go for the hot summer skin, there's like the modern lady. Under the night sky, you can just equip this, or equip this as the classic. And this is the battle attire, which is going to be when you're bringing into your main characters for in-combat battle experience, right? So we have 3 of these over here, as well as this pet system. There's a lot of different skins for this little pet system. You can just kind of decide which one you want. Just a little bit of a user interface kind of thing, nothing too important. But yeah, so to navigate this game's menu, you essentially just press tab, and almost everything can be seen over here to access pretty much everything you want to see, right? Animals is going to be the characters, inventory, shop, quests, summons, blah blah, so you can just take it over here. So jumping straight into the gacha itself, as of this point for the test server, you are not able to see the first ever limited rate up unit, which is going to be, as you guys have known from the dev live stream, that is going to be the brand new SSR Animals Freya. You have seen from the trailer, she does damage, support, she action very advanced, all that kind of stuff. Looks to be a very strong unit, but unfortunately I'm not going to be able to play with the very first I guess the limited banner on release in this test server. So what I do see over here are 3 different gacha banners. So this is going to be, I'm guessing, the very first beginner banner, where you're guaranteed a SSR animals within 40 summons. And yes, you are 100% rate up to basically choose whichever unit you want to choose, as long as they are within the RGB category. So any of the RGB starting heroes, you can just select one of them, and they can basically be guaranteed you're going to be getting them 100% for the time, right? With regards to like the meta, the tier list, which unit is stronger than which units, frankly speaking, I think we'll just have to wait for the future version, the future game to come out. So I'm not going to be jumping into the specific tier list or like what the units does themselves. But for me personally, if you guys want to ask me, Ling Luo, for example, she is going to be a unit that acts as a sustain, right? And if you guys have been playing turn-based game long enough, you will know that the sustains in this game are they're pretty much almost mandatory for almost every single one of your endgame content. In this case, there's a PvP, PvE, Nightmare Raid, Union Raid. So I would say that unless I see more and more sustains units being added to the roster, she is most likely gonna be a excellent choice. But do take this with a pinch of salt, because I haven't fully dived into the depth of every single one of the units, right? So that is gonna be that. So if you summon this 40 times, you are guaranteed to get her, and the probabilities for this are gonna be as shown over here: 1%, right, base rate for the SSR, 6.75 for the SR, and then this is gonna be 2.25 for the light and dark SR units, and then you have the rare units over here is 90% chance, right? And the rule explanation you can see over here, right? Yeah, so basically it's gonna be guaranteed SSR within 40 summons. I haven't summoned it all, so let's just take a look at what the summoning animations are looking right now. Yep. This is my first time seeing this, by the way. Okay. Oh. Okay. Sure. I got the SSR on my very first summon. Okay, you can't make this shit up. I'm not even pre-recording this. You literally cannot make this shit up. So, yeah. I got a SSR on my very first temple. And it does appear that you are still able to get this. So the PD actually just continues on. So if you were to get an early SSR, like you just see just now, I can still continue to summon this. So within the next 30 summons, I'm guessing what's gonna happen is I'm gonna get the unit itself, hopefully. So okay, all blues. So that's 20. And this is gonna be 30. And I'm guessing this last one is gonna be the final SSR that I want to see over here, right? So I'm gonna skip over here. Yep. So you can in fact get 2 different, or at least more than 1 SSR within the first 40 summons. So that is just fantastic. Yep. So that's gonna be the quote-unquote the beginner banner. Next, going on to essentially this is the common pool, right? This is the standard summons, the permanent summons. The rate over here is gonna be as seen over here, 0.75% of a RGB 5-star, or rather RGB SSR, and 0.25% for a light and dark 5-star, or I got SSL. Yep. So you can in fact get light and dark units within the standard banner. Albeit it is going to be 1/3 of the probability, but you can still get them regardless, which brings us a combined total rate of 1%, which is going to be the same as your summoning pool in the beginner banner over here, right? So you can see over here, you do start to accumulate your soft PD after 50 consecutive summons, and then you are guaranteed an SSR within 80 summons. And then for the SR as well as the R rarity units, it's pretty much the exact same thing. This is going to be the standard pool, which also includes your ML or like your light and dark units. So that's going to be there over here, guaranteed SR or higher every single 10 subs. And this is going to be essentially the exclusive constant or disorder elements, which is going to be the light or dark unit. So you can only use the special tokens. So you can see over here, there are 2 types of summon currency. This is the purple ones you can use to summon. I'm guessing this is going to be your permanent pool as well as your beginner pool. And I'm guessing also your brand new limited pool, which is going to be the brand new SSR Freya that's coming out. But this is going to be an exclusive summon currency for the light and dark units over here. And this is over here, check the probability. It is also going to be at 1%, but pretty much every single unit within this pool, it is only going to be in light and dark for the SR as well as the SSR. For the rare units, it does include some of the other factions. And the rates are going to be exactly the same as the permanent pool. You can see over here, if you do not obtain SSR within 50 pools, that's going to be the soft PD. You will start to get a higher and higher odds up until 80 summons, which is going to be guaranteed an SSR. So over here, you are only guaranteed ML units, so you have no other units. There's an RGB, so only light or dark will be available in this banner. And one very important thing to take note is the summoning currency for this thingy is actually gonna be at 99. One important thing to note over here is that you do get a 1 free summon, right? And every single currency for your non-ML summons, right, non-light and dark, it is going to be priced at 100 of this premium currency instead of the usual 160 from the other gacha games, right? So just keep in mind, I think it depends on what sort of the income we're going to be getting as a free-to-play as well as a new player when the game goes forward. But for now, it does, so it's going to be a lot more affordable for the general gacha pool income for Etheria Restart. Keep in mind, for the limited rate up we have seen from the dev live stream, we can't see it in the test beta server here, but there is no 50-50, right? So the limited rate up banner for Freya, you are guaranteed 100% to get Freya when you do get SSR, so absolutely 0-50-50. So that's also another very good thing for this gacha system. But I think from that, that's pretty much it. There's no signature light cones, there's no limited artifacts as far as I'm concerned. All of those is gonna be integrated with the pet system, which I'll be explaining under the unit builds and everything. So I think this entire segment, we're gonna call this as how exactly do you raise the units. If you guys have been playing Epic 7 or Honkai Star or any of these turn-based games, then you shouldn't be too unfamiliar with the screen that you're seeing over here. Basic HP, defense, attack, speed, double crit, effect, accuracy, as well as effect resistance. So very standard stuff over here. You have 3 main skills. This is your basic, this is your skill, and this is going to be your ultimate. I'm not going to be going through what exactly every single one of these units does, because that means this video is going to be like 2 hours or something. So I'll just be going through how it looks like, especially when it comes to the module section over here. And I want to dedicate this entire segment to the module section with regards to the character, because this is a very interesting system that I have not seen in any other gacha game, which is you do have your standard set bonus. The set bonus is going to be determined by this logo over here. So you can see this is 3, 6, 9, 12, right? So from these 12, you can activate the 3-piece, technically a 3-piece, at 12 of these combined logos. You can see over here, you will activate the additional set, which is going to be Swift Rush plus 15, then this is going to be plus 35% speed value, right? So we do in fact get a plus 15. Note that you can actually activate this at plus 12. So even if I were to remove this right now, you can see that we still activate our plus 12 Swift Rush. And then if you add on a blood buff, you can see this 3 yellow icon over here, you are unable to activate the plus 12 next, because after getting a blood buff, you can only go up to plus 6. So you are unable to activate up to the next threshold over here, right? And then for this Swift Rate over here, you can see the 6 is just basically 2 of the icon, and you can already get the set bonus. Now you might be wondering, where are the missing values you are getting if you're not going to be getting it from your normal artifacts or your module, right? There is going to be the unique system known as the shell, right? So shell is essentially this game's, I would say, a distinguishing factor, the unique pet level system, because every single one of these pets, you can change them for a matrix module over here, which also classifies them as contributing towards a set bonus. So for example, if you want to build up a set bonus for your unit, that's going to be having a Swift Rush plus 12, Blood Buff plus 12, and a Swift Rate plus 6, you can actually make use of the pets to give you the set bonuses over here. So you can see over here, this is going to be a pet. It gives you a plus 3, which means that you only need to have a plus 9 from your matrix in order to activate the 12-piece bonus, right? And not really a 12-piece, but basically the 12 score bonus. And you can see over here, Blood Buff, you have a plus 3 over here, and you do have another plus 3 from your Relic, which means you can activate the 6-piece, or rather the 6 slot bonus. You're missing a little bit more from the 12, so it is what it is. And then the Swift Rate, you can actually have plus 3 from the pet, and then another plus 3 from your matrix, which gives us a total of these bonuses you can see in the screen over here. So I would say this pet system, it will drastically affect the way that you're going to be playing this game, so you can filter them from all these sets. So for example, if you want a DPS pet that gives you, like for example, the Keen Eye bonus as well as the Fury bonus, right? So you want to confirm filter, you can go ahead and take a look at all of these different pets. They will have all of these different sets, so you can equip any one of them in order to make your gearing a lot easier to activate the set bonuses. And then the third sword over here, you can basically try to activate their plus 6 if you're able to. For example, some of the set bonuses, you can see the Swift Rate, it activates at only 6 points, right? So at 6 points, you already get a set bonus of plus 15% speed as well as plus 20% attack. Also, if you ask me, I'm not going to go into the meta and everything like I mentioned before, but for example, a support build, like for example, Doki Doki is pretty much going to be a support. She offers action very advanced, she offers a speed buff. I want to give her as much speed as humanly possible on top of the Swift Rate, which gives us another 15% speed for a grand total of 50% speed in the unit itself. And then for another third set, you can give her a fair rest, you can give her a little bit of durability. I think that's something that you can kind of explore when the game actually releases. For another DPS, going to see over here, there's going to be our Heinrich. So I gave him the 8-piece or the 8 points Fury, 12 points Keen Eye, as well as the 6-point Fury. So this is every single one of the set active, so you get the full benefits from a main DPS. So you can kind of just toggle around. You have a lot of different sets in this game. So if you want to take a look at, for example, if I go over here, right? There are a lot of different sets. You have Onslaught, Wellspring, Unbreakable, Swift Rush. But all these sets, you can basically just go and hit and basically experiment which of them are going to be the best in slot for different units. But like I mentioned, I will not be covering them. But this is essentially how the gearing system for Etheria Restart works, right? Make use of the relics, your module, as well as the pets to make basically the best possible unit without relying solely on just the relic itself, right? So that's pretty much it. For the prowess, this is going to be the combination of both the normal tracers. You're going to be farming this from your standard ascension trace materials, your unit characters, nothing too unordinary. And then this is going to be the dupe system, right? So this is going to be the dupe system. Generally speaking, from the way I see the dupes, it doesn't really change too much. Nothing too game breaking, even all the way up until the highest number of dupes at 6. So nothing too crazy over here. So essentially that is pretty much it for the unit. So one more thing before I move on. Yes, you do in fact have a relic loadout. Yep, you do in fact have the module loadout. So you can take over here, this is the mass unequipped, but if you take a look in this back icon, you can in fact make different relic sets, right? Your different module sets for your different units within Etheria Restart. You have a DPS set, you have the speed set. I'm not exactly sure how many module sets can you download into this game itself. I have with me one DPS and one oil speed. This is a very big quality of life that I think a lot of gacha games, especially turn-based game, when it comes to gearing your units, should adopt into their mainstream media. So that is pretty much going to be it for the unit segment. They have a lot of different units, and I'm going to keep it about. You can see in from B-rolls, I've played in quite a lot of different combat. I try to play a little bit one of everybody to the best of my abilities, but there's just so many units, there's so many possible team building that I think this game have a lot of depth that I'll be exploring going forward into the future. So that is basically how the units work in Animus. And I'm just gonna jump into a couple of UI things that you guys can look forward to. So they do have this hyperlink chart over here, which is gonna be basically your beginner missions, right? So very standard with almost every single one of the games that you've been playing so far. A lot of different things. Literally just play the game, you can get all of these rewards, which will help expedite your character progression as you play the game going forward. You have your PvP, you have your Animus Fate, Shell tuning, etc. And then now I kind of want to just talk a little bit more about the content that you can expect for both the PvE as well as the PvP aspect, right? So you have the daily challenge, you have the trial challenge, as well as the limited event. So daily challenge is going to be basically how you're going to be dumping your stamina. So your stamina, you can see over here, it's going to be capped at 150. So this 150 stamina is going to be exactly the same as how you play all of your other games. You will go in, spend your stamina. So this is going to be where you get your shells, which is going to be your pet system. This is where you get your modules. You can see all of the different modules, which is basically going to be your essentially your cavalry's corrosion, farming your modules, farming your gears, all the kind of stuff. So you're going to be farming this for a very long time. And this is going to be for investigation. So you want to level up your animals with your characters, bring them from level 1 to level 50. You're going to be found over here. And lastly, prowess material is basically your character traces. You have your red, blue, green, dark, and light units. So exactly the same. So nothing too unfamiliar if you have been a player of this kind of like turn-based game before, right? So that is going to be your daily challenge of where you're going to be spending your stamina. This is going to be split into the pretty much the end game content in my opinion. So you have your Any-Sync Echoes, Phantom Theater, Ember, as well as Ethernet Rally. So Any-Sync Echoes, this is sort of like a to basically go in to fight the boss battle, and after you fight the boss battle, you're gonna unlock all of these difficult modes, and then you can fight the next boss battle and the next boss battle, and this thing just sort of just keeps going for all the way, which is very far, all the way up to 36, which is Sharon. I'm not exactly sure if this thing does have a refreshable limit, which means you can keep playing this every month, but you can see we already have a leaderboard, so this is gonna be up until the highest at 23 Sanya Nightmare mode, right? So nobody has ever cleared past 23 Nightmare mode, so that's gonna be what we have in the test server right now. So you can get all of these other people they are going to be testing right here, right? And then aside from the Any-Sync Echoes, you also have the Phantom Theater. Now, unfortunately, I can't try Phantom Theater myself because this is a multiplayer PvE content where you essentially want to match with a player over here. So you press the match button, try to find with another player to both of you guys go in and fight the different bosses themselves. So this is your team, and then this is going to be your teammates team, and then this is going to be your union's team, right? So you can actually even create a room. So if you want to create a room over here, then you can actually summon up your formation. So if you want to just press any of the 5 units, just summon any of your units over here, and then your teammates, this is going to be your team. So boom. You can in fact put 5 units in your own team, and a union is going to be 4, and your teammate is going to be basically what a teammate is going to be putting over here, right? So that is how this works, but you need to play with your players. Unfortunately, I can't really see what this mode is going to have to offer, so I will wait for the actual live server to actually release it. But this does look to be a very interesting sort of like a PvE combined little world boss gameplay mode itself, right? So that is going to be that for the Phantom Theater, and the next mode is going to be the Embers. You'll go around in the map hunting the mobs, and then you'll have to just keep progressing. Do have this little mark over here, Rev of Thunder. Apply a Thunder mark to one of our enemies units. After 10 turns, a Thunder will strike. So they do have this different buffs and first time clears. So I'm guessing because of the rankings over here, it should be something that players should expect. That is a refreshable end game content. And you can see over here, Supply Hub. You can have like a little lucky raw. Boom. Damn. That's crazy, right? I got an S rank reward, so that's great. Yeah, so that's pretty much another mode known as the Ember. And then one more endgame mode is going to be the Ethernet Rally. This is something like you create 3 different teams from 3 different vantage points, and you'll use them to basically explore, right? Something like a Epic 7 Labyrinth, you'll keep exploring, and eventually you're going to see how big this map really is. All the way, if you fight until here, you'll eventually get into the middle boss. So this is going to be the final boss of the Ethernet Rally. Data Source Embryo looks holy monkas Lindele. And then once you clear everything, you do have your clear rewards as well. As you can see over here, all the main rewards and everything. So that is pretty much it for the main endgame content that you would be expecting. And these two are going to be the limited events, Cyber, Shadows, as well as the Cubic game. Yep, so you do have all of the events which are going to be coming out when the live server comes out. So just a couple more limited time events that players can expect to see going forward into the game, right? So that's pretty much most of it when it comes to the PvE content. This is going to be the story itself outside of the challenge mode. So the account itself has really cleared every single one of this all the way up to chapter 10, right? Every single one of this is already done. 10, 1, 2, 3, 4. So exactly the same as how you expect from Epic 7 as well. Just go in, use your units, and fight any of the bosses over here. So that's going to be very straightforward. And this is going to be the guild system, right? So this is the part where we get a little bit more into the PvP aspect of the game. You have two different PvP aspects. One is the guild system and one is the actual PvP itself. For the guild system, the first thing is going to be this, I guess, the guild boss, right? You have your remaining energy, which I guess is going to be the HP, Worm Hollow, Worm Disorder, as well as the Worm Odd, right? You have a challenge ranking, and this is going to be a support configuration. You can use 3 different units, run them in, and then your different guildmates can also use for your little union boss, right? You have your weekly tasks over here. You can claim this. Basically, you can explore this with your own guild. Union shop, which is going to be some things you can be buying if you're going to be in the guild yourself. And this is going to be the unit assistant. So the unit assistant over here, I think this looks very, very interesting, where you can essentially request a unit, right? You can request a unit and you get these tokens from completing your task. So anybody can go ahead and donate this. And I'm guessing that if you were to get the maximum number over here, you actually get a fragment of the unit itself. And eventually you can, in fact, get the actual unit or the fragments, but I'm not too exactly sure how this donation system works, because this is the only thing that I can see get contributed, right? So you have the blue, green, as well as the red chips, which I'm guessing is working towards getting a unit within your guild itself, right? So you have the little guild members list check-in, so pretty classic guild stuff. United Front, I'm guessing this is going to be the guild war function that would be unlocked going forward into the future, so take a look into that when the game comes out. And one last thing I want to talk about, which is going to be the RTA, actual PvP system, right? So the actual PvP system is going to be seen from the arena over here. This is going to be arena where you basically attack your enemy's defense. So you can just go in over here and select any of these different units. So for example, if this is going to be, oh shit, DAT. Damn. Okay, I don't want to. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead with this guy. I think these guys are pretty much bots. You can in fact match out of these people, so it is the exact same as your Epic 7 arena defense, right? Select your team, go battle, and yes, you do have 3 times speed, and you can just press manual or auto, and it'll just sort of get this game over by itself. This guy has the absolute ridiculous damage and just one-shot the entire team. So that is pretty much how the very basic arena system will work. Not really a lot of RTA strategy involved. And the other arena system is gonna be a lot more intricate, which is going to be the Summit Arena. So this is the one that you actually play with another player. Simulation battle, unfortunately, there's no rooms, and I don't really think there's anyone else in this current test server as of the time of this recording. I can try to see if we can find a match, but yeah, unfortunately, there's just nobody playing this match right now. But this is pretty much going to be your, I'm guessing, the RTA unranked for now. After 10 matches, you get your rank. A little bit of League of Legends, so you can see the rank over here. So this is gonna be your formation, right? This is your battle records, right? This is gonna be a shop from the arena shop, and then you do have your different rewards we can achieve from the rank up, right? So the rank over here, first time legendary is gonna be the highest rank, master, diamond, platinum, all the way from bronze and going forward, right? So that is pretty much it, what you would expect from the RTA as well as the PvP aspect of this game. I would love to get into the meat and potatoes of this, because I would say that this is what would make Etheria Restart the core gameplay, right? After clearing all the PvE content, I think majority of the focus of this game definitely is going to be regarding towards the more competitive elements, such as the guild wars, the PvP, the world boss, as well as especially the RTA system, right? So yep, so that is pretty much my first impression on everything that I've went through to this game for the past couple of hours playing. Again, the closed beta test is going to begin in the 8th of May at 6 p.m. and the actual official launch is going to be on the 5th of June at 6 p.m. GMT plus 8 at Singapore and Beijing time, right? So with that, we have sort of come to the end of today's content. If you do want to pre-register, the pre-registration for this Etheria Restart is already up. Use my link down in the comments and the description below. Thank you once again, Des, for providing me this account to try my hands onto Etheria Restart for the very, very first time, right? So with that, come to the end of today's content. Word of the day is gonna be Etheria Restart. Join Twitch, join YouTube, join Discord, join Twitter, and join Twitter. All the best of our Gacha boots. I'll see you guys next time.